Travis Scott has just had his concert canceled in Egypt. Who is Travis Scott? I don't really remember. I only remember him as being this kind of eccentric popular musician who performs bizarre occult rituals and uses satanic and occult imagery in his public performances. Overt imagery. This is not a satanic panic looking for devils under every rock. This is very overt. The stage for one of his concerts was a depiction of Hieronymus Bosch's, hellish images, and he regularly uses this kind of satanic language and imagery. So anyway, he was supposed to perform a concert at the Giza pyramid, and Egypt just said no. Egyptian authorities said, no thank you, we don't want your weird occult satanic stuff. Since the General Syndicate is part of the fabric of this beloved country, it is keen on its stability and security and refuses to tamper with societal values and Egyptian and Arab customs and traditions. Based on research and documented information about strange rituals at Travis's concerts that are inconsistent with our authentic societal values and traditions, the board of directors has decided to cancel the license issued to hold this type of concert that contradicts the cultural identity of the Egyptian people. Very based, very good, wonderful stuff, and we should seek to emulate that sort of thing in the West. Similar to Trump saying a nice thing about Xi Jinping. Does it mean now that we want to model our country after Egypt and the Muslim leaders of Egypt? No, it doesn't. But they're right about this issue. Just like Xi Jinping can be right about a thing or two also. And in political humility, we can look toward other cultures and try to take the best of what they're doing and try to learn from them. And in the West, in recent years, the occult imagery that is cropped up is so bizarre and so overt. Sam Smith dancing around as a devil. All of this kind of imagery. It's much more prominent in the West than it used to be. And we seem to have lost the ability to say no to it. Now we have Baphomet statues inside public spaces, inside government buildings, well, in the name of religious liberty. Now we have satanic clubs in elementary schools. We've reported on it on this show before. Openly, overtly. And why is this happening? Because we in the liberal West have lost the ability to say no. And other nations that many of the liberals would deride as authoritarian, ironic because the liberals are much more authoritarian than anybody else in the country, certainly more so than the conservatives. Some of those other nations that have a deeper political tradition and that look a little deeper than consent as the be-all and end-all moral criterion for public policy, and who recognize that there are other things and other virtues to take into account as well in policy. They just look at that and they say, oh no, you got the satanic singer and he wants to sing by the pyramid? Yeah, no thanks. That's not in line with our values in Egypt. Conservatives, I think, need to learn that lesson. We need to be able to say, no thanks. Religious liberty doesn't give religious liberty, certainly not as the founders and framers understood it, doesn't give you any right to have a Baphomet doll in a public space, doesn't give you a right to practice Satanism, doesn't give you a right to have a satanic club in an elementary school, doesn't give you a right to perform all sorts of other sick, bizarre rituals that are sometimes overtly occult and sometimes are merely implicitly so in the weird ideologies that the libs are forcing everywhere, especially in the month of June. We should just say no to that. And we need to figure out, well, on what grounds can we say no? Liberalism exalts consent and individual autonomy above all else. And the consequence of that is it erodes the cultural foundation that allowed it to operate in the first place. Well, what are we going to replace that with? As we think a little bit more deeply about what it means to be a conservative, what it means to be an American, what it means to live in the West, which used to be known as Christendom. Right now, text Knowles to 989898. We are days away from the Durban Accords, the greatest threat to the US dollar's global dominance in the past 80 years. On August 22nd, BRICS nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are expected to announce the launch of a new international supercurrency fully backed by gold or other commodities. This is part of their long-term plan to supplant the US and the dollar as cornerstones of the global financial system. How can you protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout from this landmark announcement? Now is the time to diversify with gold from Birch Gold. Historically, gold has been a safe haven in times of high uncertainty. That would be right now. When currencies fail, gold is a safe haven. How much more time does the dollar have? Protect your savings with gold. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, Text Knowles, Knowles, to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. If a central bank digital currency becomes a reality, it will be nice to have some gold to depend on. Again, text Knowles, Knowles, to 989898. Right now, head on over to carsing.com/Knowles. Buying a new car can be a stressful experience for anyone, especially if you're a first-time buyer or have no credit. Before you walk into a dealership and spend the entire day with the crowds, stress, and potential to not even find the right car, you got to check out Carsing. Carsing is completely changing the way you buy a car online. By partnering with credit agencies, lenders, and over 25,000 dealers nationwide, Carsing provides you with everything you need before stepping foot onto a dealership. Once you find the right car for your ideal budget, all you've got to do is bring your saved deal voucher with you to the dealership to finalize your next ride. Super simple. Even if you're not in the market for a new car, you should check out Carsing anyway. Carsing's online window shopping experience goes beyond mere images. You dive deep into each vehicle's specifications, features, and performance capabilities. Zoom in on the craftsmanship of the interior. Marvel at the cutting-edge technology. Check out all the great stuff about these cars. Carsing helps make your experience faster, cheaper, less stressful. Go to carsing.com/Knowles today. Find the best deals near you. That is carsing.com/Knowles. Marjorie Greene, Republican congressman, just featured quite an obscene and pornographic display in a House committee hearing. She was referring to the evidence that was found on Hunter Biden's laptop, which showed that he paid a hooker out of his law firm's bank account, and she featured semi-blocked out, semi-censored images of Hunter engaging in weird sex acts with said hookers. We here at the Daily Wire, at the Michael Knowles Show, have blurred it out even further. This is a family program. Here is what Congress Lady Greene had to say.
I will let Ms. Greene wrap up 5 seconds, and then I'll give Mr. Mafume additional time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Shapley, you started an investigation into Hunter Biden, codenamed Sportsman, which opened in November of 2018. It was an offshoot of an investigation the IRS was conducting into a foreign-based amateur online pornography platform. This is evidence of Hunter Biden making sex. Excuse me, this is my time. Making pornography.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman, in the committee?
Ladies.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman? This is obscene. This is pornographic. You hear the Democrat off camera yelling and screaming and crying because Marjorie Greene is showing censored pictures of Hunter Biden engaging in an oral sex act. Okay. Fair enough. Liberals in the media started whining immediately after the Congress lady did this, and I agree. I totally agree with the criticism. It's obscene. It's pornographic. It has no place in the House of Representatives. But unfortunately today, those same people who are raising all of those objections, they're insisting that more graphic displays of even more obscene and depraved sexual acts belong in elementary school classrooms. Because all those very same people who are clutching their pearls, how dare you, Congress Lady Greene, how dare you show a censored picture of Hunter Biden engaging in some sex acts? Those very same people are promoting Gender Queer, the book by Maya Kababi, in elementary school classrooms. And when conservatives like Ron DeSantis go in and they say, no, we're going to ban that book from elementary school classrooms because it's depraved gay porn showing more depraved versions of the same sex acts that Marjorie Greene showed censored at the House of Representatives, they say that belongs in kindergarten. That belongs in your elementary school library. So can the Democrats please explain to me why this kind of pornography has no place in the House of Representatives to be viewed by adults as a matter of debating national policy and national political scandal, but it does belong in the classroom of 5-year-olds in an even more obscene way? Why is that? Something tells me they're being a little disingenuous about their opposition to pornography and obscenity and the pearl clutching. Look, man, I'm all for it. We have obscenity laws on the books. I think we should enforce them. We have a long tradition in America of banning pornographic and obscene materials. I think pornography is one of, if not the biggest basically not spoken of social problems in the country because it's ubiquitous and it puts people in a state of perpetual mortal sin, and it puts a huge percentage of the population in that state, and it's very difficult, it's actually impossible to have a good republic when you've got people constantly engaging in vice that's degrading. So I'm all for, let's do it, baby. Let's ban this stuff certainly from the Congress. Let's ban it from all sorts of places. But you want to put it into elementary schools. So what the left tells me then is it loves the obscenity. It loves the depravity. It loves the pornography. It wants to present all of this stuff to the most innocent people in our country. It just doesn't want to get caught in the act of the consequences of that depravity. The country that presents porn everywhere is the country that becomes a nation of Hunter Bidens, that actually does this stuff. But they want to cover up the consequences. They want all of the titillation. They want all of the degradation. They just don't want to get caught in their own depravity and corruption. Of course. Boy, what a great clip that was. Make sure that you ring that bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. Don't miss anything. A clip, an episode, a 2.5-hour interview with the QAnon shaman. Don't miss anything. See you then.